All right. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your Taurus. Sorry, I blanked out for a minute. For your Taurus season reading, your May 2020 reading, let's get right into it. How are you all doing? Are you ready for retrograde season happening in your sign? Yeah, a lot of Geminis that I know or know of kind of, I don't want to say losing it, but the ass might be showing a little tiny bit. Yeah, but so far we have the Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles, the World. So cycles finishing out. But the universe isn't going to just hand it to you. You got to work for it, man. Whatever cycles you've got finishing out right now, the universe is making you work for it. And if you haven't done the work, I don't think it's really going to matter. What else? Yeah, it's not really going to matter if you haven't done this work. The 8 of Pentacles, let me show you, is surrounded by Wheel of Fortune and the World. Both cards of new chapters, new cycles beginning, new things turning a leaf. The World in particular for me, Wheel of Fortune is, I mean, yes, it's about cycles ending, but it's also about cycles beginning because it's the wheel. It's constantly turning. So whatever side of the wheel you're on, that will be where it will inevitably turn and you'll experience the other side of that wheel, right? It's inevitable. We all go through it. Now, the World for me represents Saturn. And so it's a more Aquarian expression of the Saturnian energy where breaking free from old cycles, breaking free and experiencing the freedom that Saturn does have to offer. It's not that Saturn doesn't want us to experience freedom, but it wants us to learn the lessons first so that we can actually really understand, respect, and cherish that freedom, right? And cherish the superpower. If you just get the superpower and you didn't really have to do the work to get it, then there might be a piece missing in terms of understanding how the superpower works and understanding what happens when you don't have it. So gratitude, right? And so the World for me is what happens when we go through the Saturnian lessons and do the work, right? We actually do the work. We don't do any shortcuts. We don't go back to Saturn and say, here, I fixed it. I used a shortcut, which y'all are actually pretty good at doing. Y'all are pretty good at finding the shortcuts to doing things, right? And I don't think it's so much out of wanting to cheat the system, but I think it's like, well, there's a better or shorter way of doing this, so it must be better. So let me try it this way. And Saturn is like, no, do it again. Right? So did you learn the lessons about heartbreak? I believe in 2016, you all, when Saturn was in Sagittarius, you all had Saturn in your 7th house, right? Which is your house of relationships, one-on-one partnerships, marriage, business partnerships, romance, things like that. It's a more serious expression of the 5th house when it comes to love and romance and commitment. So you had Saturn there, which placed a lot of restrictions and gave you a lot of lessons and lesson learning around how you choose to navigate relationships. So I feel like this Venus retrograde, which is going to be happening partially in your sign, is kind of asking you, what did you glean? What did you learn? What work have you done around this? Right? Have you really pulled these swords out? Have you convinced yourself that you've pulled them out and done the work around it? Or have you done the Gemini thing and sort of said, gee, I guess that's over, and then just kind of moved on to the next platform, person, thing, whatever. So it's you know, you have really great, beautiful energies coming out. Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Pentacles in the world. And also for some of you, this could just mean that work, for those of you that are really burying yourselves in productivity, and not just productivity for the sake of being productive, but doing something that brings you joy, doing something that you see a future in, that yeah, there can be great rewards at the end of it. Great rewards at the end of it. But there still is this Three of Swords to overcome. So let's see what else is going on for Gemini. Also, maybe hiding behind your work isn't going to cut it anymore. Queen of Wands and the Star. Right, okay. So Venus in retrograde is probably going to ask a lot of you to return to a relationship that you had with either a fire sign or a fiery woman, or with an Aquarius. We have the Star here. And what healing, right? The Star also representing healing. So some of you, there might be exes coming back around, or you all might feel inclined to reach out. This Queen of Wands could also be y'all wanting to reach out to this Aquarius. But yeah, the return of some exes. The return of a lot of exes. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles could definitely also be an earth sign or an earthy person, right? I think there is this sort of high fidelity-esque returning to the top 5 heartbreaks, or returning to the relationships that might have stung the most, whether you did the stinging or not. When you sting, it still stings. It doesn't, you know, you don't have to be the one to get your heart broken to feel the heartbreak. And this Queen of Pentacles can also represent, right, back in connection with this Eight of Pentacles, this Queen of Pentacles also representing you looking at the work that you are producing, feeling really secure and sure of what it is that you are creating, and also looking at your own worth through this work. That maybe this work that you're doing is actually helping to create healing around relationships that might have felt fun, right? And really passionate. But, you know, this is also a really domineering energy that you all don't do very well with. Air signs in general, I would say Gemini and Aquarius have the hardest time dealing with domineering energies. I think Gemini even more so. There is sort of a sub quality about Aquarians that we have, but we'll talk about that another day. So let's see what else. Anything else for Gemini? Any guidance, any general guidance for Gemini for May? I'm not going to take those. Any general guidance for May? It was a Two of Wands. So continue, yes, to look forward with your projects and your plans. Continue to look forward with where you see this Eight of Pentacles taking you. Yeah. A new chapter. So you begin to pull these swords out one by one, and you actually see that they aren't that scary. And you actually see that they're full of information, and they're full of lessons, and it's also full of information about who you are. Any last guidance for Gemini for May 2020? It fell all the way. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay. Yes, Six of Cups. So definite returning of past relationships. Six of Cups being sort of a time in love, a time in reflecting on love where things are just sweet, right? That's usually how I know I'm truly over somebody, even somebody who's really broken my heart, right? Usually I know I'm over them when I can think back on the relationship and be like, oh, there was some really sweet moments, regardless of what may have happened, right? But even in the reminiscing of the sweet moments, there isn't a bone in my body that wants to go back, right? Being able to reminisce and be like, oh, that was awesome. And I can leave it exactly where it is. And I think that might be where the universe, where Venus is trying to guide you all towards, is yes, reminisce, but leave it there. And also understand that, but going in the opposite direction of completely ignoring and denying the fact that any of this might have happened, robs you of the ability to learn new information about yourself. So there's your reading, Gemini. 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, leave it behind. You got 2 cups behind you. Leave it all behind. But you got to act right. So that's your reading for May 2020, and I will see you all for your season. Good luck as Venus goes retrograde, and sending you all love, and I will see you next season. Bye.